Fanatically correct. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
Yeah, let's do that for the. I figured because it's coming out for streaming on the 17th
of April.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
Spider-Man No Way. Wait, did we do a Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah, we did. Me and you.
Something
That's right.
in the way.
Because that comes out April also. I think I will dive. We'll do the usual.
Are we still recording, right? We still recording?
Yeah, no, keep going.
recording.
Yeah,
So
we're
this is
recording.
part
I'll
of the
just cut this
intro. What's happening here?
No,
I'll cut this off.
This is the worst.
we're not
No,
starting
you know
it.
what? Do
It's
not
not
cut
the
this
intro.
off. This
This
is
is
the worst
warming up.
intro.
This
This
is
is
just
warming
The
up.
worst intro we've ever
It's the
done
intro.
in these past 10 years of recording a podcast.
If MSK leaves it in, it is.
All right, let's say ready. Yeah, so we're gonna try something a little different.
Jeez, we're here like trying to figure out what we're gonna talk about. You know what? You should let people actually hear exactly how it goes
I
down.
think I'm gonna leave
every
this. I
single
think I'm gonna
time.
leave
Great. This is gonna be
Before-
fantastic.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I'm here trying to figure out what we're gonna
Listen.
record,
especially
I
in those
started
first
singing.
episodes,
and you guys are talking about Spider-Man. What's happening here?
Well, you know what's
because
the
we
best way
ignored
to
your
roll?
singing. We ignored it. We ignored it.
Exactly. Actually, you know what the best way to roll is? This is Fanatically Correct, and I am your host, Omega.
MSK.
Yo, peace.
There you go. Go back to singing Nirvana.
Oh man, something in the way.
Dude, what a dope score, man. That's a good
Well,
score.
I was telling Yopis for the first time. My brother grew up a big Nirvana fan, and he couldn't get a Nirvana song in my head. But the Batman did. The Batman, like 20, 30 years later. So thank you, Batman.
Yeah.
Batvana.
Batvana.
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, we can jump into that. You want to just jump into the bad parts?
Well,
of the movie, or
before we
just-
do, I say we do the usual just in case there's still people who are holding out. But yeah, we'll just do like a review without any spoilers first of each of us, our take without giving anything away, just, for the starters. And then after that, we'll dive right into it for those who have seen it to enjoy our deep dive and take on the 3 hours of the Batman.
And that's exactly how long we're gonna give you on this episode.
Exactly. We're each going to take an hour diving into the film.
I mean, we can. There's so much. There's so much going on.
There really is.
But we're not.
So
Gonna
who wants to start with a review? Just how they felt it like.
I'll start.
There we go.
Listen,
So your piece, Nirvana.
it was different. It was different. It was a different Batman. It was a different take on everything. And it was not a bad movie. It was not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the ride. I had my expectation really low, and that's what helped me. So I hope if you come in, you don't come in with too high expectations because it is different, and you probably will enjoy the ride as well.
What I've been saying to everyone is obviously not as hard R or gory for that matter, but it's Seven meets Batman, and instead of Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman's characters, it's Batman and Commissioner Gordon. Is really how I would simplify what you see in this film. There is Batman action, but it is definitely a crime thriller, psychological serial killer hunt. Basically everything you get from the trailer. In fairness, they do a good job of the trailers pretty much preparing for what you are going to see.
And that's what I enjoyed about it was the detective side of it.
Exactly.
That's the most I enjoyed about it.
Yeah, which you normally don't get. And then the closest thing in a spoiler-free review that I give, that's not really a spoiler, but I always like to say if there's a post-credit or not. There's technically not a post-credit. There is just a little like wink type thing.
Yeah,
but
the waste of time.
It's not exactly. If you need to go to the bathroom, it's a long film. And if you had if you were at a theater that serves alcohol and you had a Long Island iced tea and you were some Hennessy, like the guy I saw with GAT.
I know who that is. I know who that is. You said Hennessy.
Yeah, you're gonna burst the kidney if you don't just get up and go. So yeah, it's not really worth it. You don't got a serious post credit. And then outside of that, what I always say, and this to me is what helped get people in their butts into the seats to see the film. And it was pretty much the word around the campfire, anyways, which is it dives straight into the movie. This is not an origin Batman which we're used to getting, or every Batman movie we get the origin, no. You know who he is, you know what he does. Here's his case. This is the current situation he's in, and that's pretty much you're going to get. That's exactly what you're going to get. And yes, it's different. It's a unique Batman film. It has its own style of Batman, own style of all the characters, own style of telling a Batman story in the cinematic spot in the theaters.
Yeah.
MSK. And then we'll dive deep.
We're gonna dive deep into this. I enjoyed it. I like that they did the detective side of it. I feel like they did a good job in. They portrayed it very accurate to the comics. His detective, that detective aspect of Batman, I thought that was pretty accurate. Robert Pattinson did a great job as Batman. We'll get into deeper with what I think about his Bruce Wayne, but his Batman was on point. All the actors were on point, but overall, the tone and the style is pretty much. I've been wanting to see a Batman movie like this for a long time. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it's something that I've been wanting to see, and they did a great job the way they did it. So we could dive deep into.
Well, a good dive in as we start getting now more detailed. So spoiler alert. That we're going nuts now. So, either watch it if you haven't, decide for yourself, always the best way to go. But now the spoilers are coming. What I will say is I had it broken down on YouTube, but I am getting a copy of it because I do want to read it. Warner Brothers did basically sign off on an official prequel novel that was written. Basically, this Batman's universe, this Matt Reeves Batman universe, year one. But it's really not a year one. It's basically the origin story we don't get in the film.
Right.
I kind of wish I hadn't seen it before the movie because there was just a few little things that were kind of a spoiler. Nothing major. Basically, the Wayne's mansion. So actually, I kind of prepared for. There was a couple of things that I might not have liked the first time I saw it if I had already gone in with the mindset of already knowing it, which was that we're not going to get the Wayne Manor in the typical Batcave location because this was, given away, donated to the orphans of Gotham as an orphanage in a power move. So then this Bruce Wayne, basically from the age 8 till parents' death, was being raised in a penthouse in Wayne Tower. So that was one of the things in the book, as far as like that's I think the most spoiler thing we got in the book. Outside of that, there was a lot of things that kind of gave background into the Batmobile, why it's that style. This Batman, even his training, that he's more of an agile speed Batman is what he trained for because he's a younger one. So he relies more on his speed and agility than he would brawn and strength. So it does explain the build of this Batman. And one of the things I like is that's why I want to actually read it, because that was one of the things they gave. There was a lot of details in his mental training. Basically, this Batman's a genius savant. So we're talking about a Batman who graduates high school at 15, starts college at 16. He does know how to fight because, to an extent, not this level of training, but Alfred gave him a base on how to fight. And he was able to take that. And then when he starts, and that's what I want to spoil for you guys, because I kind of recommend you read the book too, as to what leads him to becoming a vigilante. It's not the typical story where since he was 11 years old, he was planning to become a Batman or anything like that. He was in a different direction, not as old as he is in the Dark Knight series of Nolan's, but, still in late teens. And he starts going from university to university, and wherever he goes, like, in other words, he's not worried about degrees. He's worried about getting the information. So he'll go to MIT for like a year because he's so intelligent. He'll get all the information he needs. While he's there, he'll go train with some local Krav Maga school. Then he'll go take some forensics course in Thailand and then train some Muay Thai there. So he was training both body and mind at the same time at a very young age. But when you jump to age like 17, 18 to age 26, 27, that's still 10 years worth of training that we're getting in this year 2 Batman. So it's a good backstory. And that's basically the details that we start getting to this film that, again, and that's what we're all talking about, what we like about it. It's a true detective film. It's a detective comics film. It's It's forensics, it's CSI, and it does have a lot of Batman elements, but they did a great job on really focusing and giving us that unique spin of really having detectives following a serial killer and trying to stop a serial killer in what they're doing. I'll jump in at any time, so I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I gotta catch. I mean, that comic already came out, or
it's already out. It's a hard copy, digital copy, and like for the Nook also, or whatever, a Kindle. Amazon has them all. It's only like $9.99. It's like $10. That's it for the hard and the hard copy.
Well, there you go. That's a necessity. There you go, guys.
There you go. So we'll replay this.
That's pretty good.
We'll just cut it from here at the beginning and put it at the end.
You put it in the beginning. I'll just put it at the end.
Yeah, and the hard copy comes with like a poster and stuff too, like a big pull-out poster.
Well, I heard Paul Dano, the actor that did the Riddler, he's supposed to do a comic about the Riddler and about his backstory.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Year one.
Yeah, he's getting, which would be amazing. I love the way Paul Dano did. I mean, for me, and I've told other people this, what he did with the Riddler is kind of like what Heath did with the Joker. He just changed the game for the Riddler for me. It's not like this campy Jim Carrey Riddler. Like, he made him into like, he's creepy, man. He's a creepy dude. It's like a creepy serial killer type guy, and you know.
No, he does it great. Even the scene, and that's when I was sold on it. Obviously it's later in the film, but the whole movie, but when you see him out of the Riddler, get up the taped face or whatever in the diner, and the face that he's making, just like the crazy eyes, and like he's like doing this thing with his mouth as he's looking at Batman through the window, and it's just like, this guy's off his rocker. Like, you know what I mean? Like and that's why I also compare it to Seven, is that is the Kevin Spacey moment, you know what I mean? Where it's when Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman and Kevin Spacey turns himself in, at the department, in the police station,
department,
and the police department, and that's where you're like, oh crap, this guy is like legit nuts. What you expect him to be.
Yeah, I mean, and he played that part like the Zodiac killer, pretty much. Like, he's just this creepy, like, real life, like dude, but. Well, I kept thinking the whole time, because I saw a lot of Seven in this movie. I kept thinking that there was going to be a scene where he's like next to the cops, or like actually at one of the crime scenes, kind of like how Kevin Spacey was
he was
Seven.
A photographer. Yeah,
he was the photographer. I kind of like thought they were going to do like an homage type thing, situation like that. But I mean, they did a great job. Paul Dano killed it.
That's you know what? That's one way for an actor to, I guess, decompress from acting and being so deep into a character is actually writing a comic book. Yeah. So good for him, man. That's he got so deep into it that I'm sure he found a voice. He found a voice for that.
What's
for that
clever about it is the book I was just bringing up. That's why I said it's kind of a year one Batman. They give his upbringing as well, but not his year one. So you get like him as a kid. So again, that's why I said there was some backstory. So that's why I say there were some spoilers. And so it's actually, you want to do a double read. You want to read this, then that, because this gives details as to what puts Riddler on the path of, acting out on his insanity of being harmful. And then I'm pretty sure the book that he's going to write is going to be him actually planning out this whole process,
this whole thing, because
exactly, because this is a major. Now we're spoilers. It wasn't just him murdering people; it's him playing Batman like a fiddle, which
and destroying the city. He destroyed the city.
This is what I love. Well, number one, from the very beginning, is there any movie since The Godfather that ever plays Ave Maria and something bad does not happen while that's being being played? Like,
no, there has to be in some type of comedy movie from now on, just to throw people off.
Just to throw people off. Just put it in a wedding, put him in a wedding like a real life. Just put it in a wedding.
Like a real wedding. A real life wedding.
Seriously, hasn't since The Godfather, no movie or TV show uses that.
By the way, The Godfather just turned 50 like yesterday. So
wow.
Happy birthday, Godfather.
Happy birthday, Godfather.
No, okay. So
that's funny.
In that opening scene, I will say, like, for a second there, I don't know about you guys. Did you like, wait a minute? I thought there was no origin story. Did you feel like you were about to get the Waynes for a second? Yeah,
I didn't though. Well, that's because you told me that it wasn't in there.
It wasn't an origin.
I didn't.
You didn't think I was lying to you? Maybe when that happened.
I didn't. No. I thought I knew you were telling me the truth. I knew you were telling me the truth. But I didn't think we got a Wayne story that we got in this movie. Like, I didn't think we were just gonna get Wayne at all. I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get it through like exposition, like Alfred talking about it or something like that. But the fact that they brought in the whole political part of Thomas Wayne wanting to go into politics and him making a mistake of joining with Falcone to, get rid of, the reporter. It was just
the original, the other mafia guy who had the drug run. Falcone was James Turturro. Who's the other guy?
Well, Maroni.
Maroni. There we go.
Yeah, Falcone was going after Maroni, but what Thomas Wayne
Elliot.
wanted to cover up what Elliot did, the photographer did,
which was throwback to Hush. Which is the throwback to Hush.
It's an Easter egg to Hush, but it could be an Easter egg to Hush because Hush was a surgeon that grew up with Bruce Wayne, but.
But it wasn't his name. It was the same name as the.
It's the same
surgeon.
name, but
that's what I'm saying.
There's no relation. There's no relation.
But that's what I say. It was just an Easter egg. It was just a nod to the fans of.
But
one of the stories that inspired this one.
The whole Martha Arkham thing, and it was. I mean, I didn't expect that at all. And the way they did it was like, oh wow, this is interesting. Now,
well, it sets you up for this Bruce Wayne. That's what we talked about as well. That also same thing. This is definitely not my favorite Bruce Wayne at all. But no. I understand how it works for this story, for this Batman, and for this version of Batman.
For this movie. Because if I see him not changing in the next movie, then I'm going to have a problem. Because there's supposed to be a duality for me, right?
He's
for
a
Batman.
Year 2 Batman.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a duality where it's like Bruce Wayne is supposed to play off this whole facade and persona to trick everyone, but he really is the Batman. Like that's who he really is. And if he's still playing it like this in the second movie, then it's for me it's going to be kind of obvious. It's what Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Like what other Nirvana song are they going to choose this time? You know what I mean? Like we can't have another.
Well, they're going to use they're going to use Smells Like Teen Spirit when Robin comes in, I'm sure. But that would be his theme. Yeah. You see the circus thing and then Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I'm hoping just like this one, this movie, he's Batman like 80% of the time. We get very little non-Batman Bruce Wayne in this film, which I appreciate.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you got it when you needed it. And again, you still see this version of him, but you got it when you needed it, when it was pertinent to the story, and they didn't overdo it. And he's a very good Batman. But yeah, it's going to be a no-brainer. And I think with all the hints and all the HBO Max series that are in play and all that, I think they're going to definitely go heavy on an Arkham City type, especially with the way they leave it with the flood of the city and it's isolated now from everything. You're definitely looking at an Arkham City type storyline, which means he's going to be Batman like 90% of the film. There's really not going to be much room or reason for him to not be Batman, during the whole film.
Yeah, but you know what? I still need Bruce Wayne in there, man. Because for me, you need both. You need that duality.
No, you're going to have it, but I'm saying like I just feel that he's going to just like this one. You're going to get him when you need him, and you will probably see him progress to like a more familiar Bruce Wayne this is happening.
I think that's one of the hardest things to do film wise, and it's been one of the hardest things for writers to do is to give you both worlds, not as equally, but to write a Bruce Wayne and a Batman together in a movie without hurting one side or the other. It's really a hard it's a hard character to write. Yeah. And I think I'm with I almost said I think I'm with Omega in the sense of I think they're going to make it where they don't need to give you Bruce Wayne. I think that's what's going to end up happening. And I know you're going to want Bruce Wayne, but how is it going to be possible now that the city is so like flooded and it's its own little like what is Bruce going to do now? You know what I mean? Like there's no reason for Bruce.
No, I think now
to fix the city.
Well, yeah, I think there's going to be a major story-wise they set it up because now it's out, right? What Thomas did and that whole Wayne family situation. So Bruce is going to have to come out and say something publicly about all that.
He has to clear their name because now he knows
he has to change. Exactly. And he has to change his persona for caring because the whole thing at the end is about hope, right? And that's not only for Batman, but that's also for Bruce, where, I mean, he didn't give a damn until Alfred was going to get hurt.
That's where I think that now all movies, especially superhero movies, most of them are being counted as a trilogy. And I feel that instead of building up, and that's why I kind of like the pace of Matt Reeves' technique for this telling this story arc of Batman, is I feel he's gonna go heavy Batman, like super, like that's what I'm saying. I think Arkham City is what's coming next, and then Court of Owls most likely is the third installment, which will be heavy Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel he's gonna go with it. And then what's smart about it is because, and I'm gonna give a nod to Yo Peace's wife, because she's somebody who called this very early on until I saw it in the movie for the whole film, the whole 3 hours, that I had to agree with her. Robert Pattinson, in my personal opinion. Yeah, face of killer. No, but no. In my opinion, physically speaking, Ben Affleck easily probably the best physical version of what we know from comic books and video games like that of Batman. For me, Christian Bale, as far as the Bruce Wayne goes and personality of what I've always expected Batman, he was on point. But facially speaking, Robert Pattinson hands down does have a true square Batman jaw, where he's the first Batman to have the correct mask, where they don't try to square his jaw by bringing the mask underneath his chin, it cut off at the nose. But because of that, you see his face the whole movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which actually kind of hurts, because in the comic book we forgive it. It's like Clark Kent with the glasses, because in the real world, it's like, okay, you can definitely tell this guy is the same guy. You know, especially when he knocks on the door at the nightclub and uses the same line as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Do you know who I am? Like, yeah, we know now you're Batman, I guess, because you used the same line last night when you beat the
you know what's that's funny. Yeah, you're the guy from yesterday, right? Yeah, both the twins was like, you're the guy. I get what you mean. And Robert Pattinson did a great job as Batman, and I think he's like very accurately portrayed Batman. The only thing, and I like his Batman voice, because it's not like, oh, where is he? Like, it wasn't
not throat cancer, but it's also not.
Yeah. But at the same time, like what you're saying is, like, you could tell that's Bruce Wayne's voice. Like, he doesn't really change it. He just goes, it's the same voice. So there's that. But he does a very good Batman. I thought he was, aside from Ben Affleck, I feel like if Ben Affleck had the movie that he was going to make, he would have been probably the most well-rounded Bruce Wayne and Batman. Yeah, if he was the director.
Yeah, if they would have told that story. If they would have told that story and not with that Justice League story.
Yeah. If it was just a standalone Batman, Ben Affleck movie,
I agree.
What he was going to do with Deathstroke, I think it would have been the most well-rounded Batman.
You know what? Fuck Snyder. You can bleep that out.
I'm not talking about Snyder.
Don't bleep it.
No, I just want to say it.
Yeah, because you're saying he ruined that from happening.
Yeah, because yes. I never got my sequel, and he never gave us a Batman soul.
He never gave us a Batman.
Fuck Snyder. 100%. I just want to say this.
And you know that scene from Batman v Superman, where it was pure like Arkham game scene with Batman.
I know.
Imagine a movie. I mean, I think Ben Affleck would have
all
been
that. Yeah, all that.
Yeah, he would have been. But I mean, Robert Pattinson, he's up there with the Batmans for me, man. Yeah. I really do think
we're gonna get a good. I'm gonna tell you, because this is and part of this deep dive is seeing some little nuggets. I don't know if you guys noticed. I had to tell Yo Peace right away when I saw the film for the second time and confirmed it with my own eyes. Batman animated comic books, video games, whatever, fans are going to be more prepared for how the next film might jump, especially with the Joker that they took out, they cut out scene and all that. But there's going to be a much heavier jump to more comic booking. In other words, it's still going to have this grounded tone that it has, this almost realistic tone, but they did a lot of preparing you for, we're gonna go ahead and go for things that you might not expect, and which is opening the doors for something like a Mr. Freeze or things like that, because the biggest thing was, and I was like, no. I'm like, that didn't make sense. But then when I saw my own eyes, the adrenaline shot that he gives himself at the end, in the scene where the flooding's happening, and it's Bane Venom. It's not adrenaline. You see it. It's purely bright green in the clear vial. They already planted that in there. We already know, even the cutout scene that was cut out, but at the end we saw an Arkham City, an Arkham video game version ish of the Joker already teaming up with Riddler. He already has a rogues gallery started, and that's why I really like the idea of the Arkham series. That's basically going to give us all the origins of these villains, so we can skip that, just like we skip Batman's origin in the film. So they're tweaking with it. Yeah, we're realistic, but but
To me, it's grounded in grounded in a sense of pacing and tone. But the world is comic booky, man. Gotham, first of all, that's the best version of Gotham I've seen in film. Batman Begins was, for me, out of the Nolan films, and I'm not gonna get too into the Nolan films, but Batman Begins had the best looking Gotham, even over the Dark Knight, because the Dark Knight, it was just Chicago, straight up. Yeah, it was Chicago. But this even tops that, because this showed me what Gotham really was, which is a 1970s New York, which is a piece of shit. Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, it is. It takes,
that's what Gotham is.
Well, you know what it does? It has the elements, and you see it, and that's where Reeves kind of he's a smart director. He's a guy that borrows from the right places. He borrowed elements and building Gotham. He borrowed elements from Nolan's universe. He borrowed from the Joaquin Phoenix. That's what we're talking about, like the 1970s. He borrowed from Joker. And then he even borrowed a little bit from Tim Burton in the sense of giving you that real dark Gothic, era tone where it's almost like not a city we really have in our existence, but very relatable to cities we do have. Where, Tim Burton took it too far, because that's what Tim Burton does. But, he has all these little elements, and making it in a city where, again, I can't feel like it's close to New York, but it's not New York. I can't recognize this city. This is Gotham, where every other film, you're kind of like, oh, this is Chicago. This is like, you can really, usually New York, like you can really put your finger on what they're doing, where he just gave it the right elements, like you said, to make it his Gotham.
He filmed in like 5 different cities. That's what it was. He filmed in London. He filmed in Australia. He filmed in Chicago. He filmed everywhere. But the look of Gotham, and that's why I kind of compare it to The Crow. I know as a whole, it's not like The Crow, but the darkness of the city of The Crow, which is set in Detroit. When that movie came out, you could see that city is garbage. It was dark. It was garbage. And it gave me the same kind of sense in this movie, where it's like, first of all, it starts off with the city. It shows the city for what it is. And it was just like, man, this is like really, like, this is legit Gotham. This is the best interpretation of Gotham that I've seen, because it's just, I don't want to live here. There's nothing about this city that I want to be in.
Opening scene, what you're saying, well, not the opening scene itself, which was very violent. I mean, the moment that Riddler starts pounding that guy with later find out is the tool for carpeting, whatever, like, you already got the tone of the game. Right. Like, okay, this movie's not.
That was like the cold open.
Yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, wow, this is PG-13. Like, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I guess they just lightened up on the blood, because that was violent. Like, it was grounded violence. Not just like a guy fighting a bunch of guys, action sequence style. It was literally a brutal one-on-one person beating another guy's head in. I was like, wow, this is like very very dark tone they're setting, and I was there for it. I was like, okay, this is how we're going here. But after that, they follow up with that on the Batman side of it, the flip coin, which out of all the Batman movies, and this was like probably my favorite moment, was the fear that he has established throughout the city. They did such a good job of showing that to, like, can't be everywhere at once, but he's become the city's boogeyman. Where you see these people, they see that signal in the sky, and they look for the darkest corner around them and go, oh crap, he's there. Even though he can't be at all of them. He's obviously going to be in one of these spots, but we're seeing all these other criminals reacting. It's like, oh shit, he's here. And like that real, like, spook that they have. And we didn't have to have that moment, which I have said this a million times. We've all agreed on it from the trailer, when he says vengeance. They kind of played with that a lot more than the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, and it got to the point where it's just like, all right, man,
it did become a bit much, but at least it wasn't Batman, because we've gotten that in every Batman movie. He has to introduce us like it's Batman, and it's like,
since Michael Keaton.
Exactly. And no, we didn't get that. We got vengeance, but regardless, like, you really quickly captured, like, everybody knows, and that's what I said, how they skipped the origin story. Everyone knows who this guy is. This city has already heard of him, what he is, what his, his not his story, but what he's doing, what he's bringing to the table, to the criminal element in the city. And they did a good job of showing that, of like the people's fear of like, oh crap, I'm about to get caught by the Batman.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
Where he's at. That was pretty cool. I like that intro. It was actually, it's a good intro for showing you the Batman, pretty much. So
no, and even did the detective noir thing where he's like talking, it's dark and it's the city, and I can't be everywhere at once. But he's like, it's like they're
which
really,
makes
like,
sense. You know what? That's a good explanation. It's a good that I like that, because it explains to you exactly what a person like that, a vigilante like that would actually be doing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be everywhere at once. I'm not gonna be able to stop every crime, but I put so much fear already in these criminals.
Yeah.
That they're now they see that, and that's a sign of I'm coming. So I'll be somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll be stopping some crime. It might be the one you're doing right now. So that's a pretty cool take. Different, and what Matt Reeves is doing, I'm enjoying so far.
Yeah, no, I like how he pulls from different movies, right? So like Christopher Nolan did his take. It was basically a heist film. You know, so he pulled from, Michael Mann's Heat. You know, we saw a movie. It's like, there's a lot of heat in there in The Dark Knight. You know,
nice. Good movie to borrow from. Great film to borrow from. You're gonna borrow.
Matt Reeves borrows from like every '70s movie, like from Chinatown to The French Connection to like, and I don't know if you guys ever seen these movies, but the way that these movies are shot, for like the penguin scene, for example, which is a crazy.
Love
crazy chase scene. That's the French Connection. The way they mount the camera on the hood and it's very practical. Yeah. And like that's straight up French Connection, bullet type movie, like 1970s, like what do they call it? Neo-Noir movie, and Matt Reeves just kills it with that, man. And I thought that was it was different. It was different.
It made me like that Batmobile. That car.
And it made me like the Batmobile.
And I saw it in IMAX.
And I wasn't as critical. Listen, when that Batmobile came out, I wasn't as critical. I know Yopis did not like the Batmobile when it came out. I remember Yopis looking, and that's like a regular car. What is he gonna do?
It is a regular car. I mean, what are we talking about? It's a regular car.
But the way that it filmed, man, 1970s style, like it was perfect for what it was. It's not my favorite Batmobile. But
no, not mine either. But again,
it was crazy.
For this film, it works. So
it works. It works perfect.
And here's the beauty: all three of us are on the same page of this, which a lot of people, and you're seeing, especially the interwebs and the social media nerd idiots, where everything's got to be about if you like a certain thing, then you have to dislike the other thing. And this does not at all affect my take on like Dark Knight, which to me is like still my favorite Batman film. This is great, but it didn't knock that off. But it's really adjacent to it for me because this is, again, really well done. But I will say this, and this is kind of my litmus test a little bit to it, is if Batman Begins or Dark Knight or even a movie like that was the very first Batman movie we ever got, we never got Tim Burton's Batman or anything like that, it still would have been great and it would have done well. I feel that this Batman movie definitely, it benefits from the fact that it's not the first Batman movie. Because if this was the very first Batman movie we ever got, it would be hated. Yeah. It would be hated. It would be trashed. It would have terrible critics. It would be like Silence of the Lambs, where certain people will go like, wait a minute, I understand maybe this is not your Batman, but this is a good movie. But there will be a big crowd of people just going, no, this is terrible. This is not Batman. This is not, because they have yet to gotten a take that's, some type of version of what they were expecting. Since we've already gotten that in different takes of Batman, this definitely works. Like Joker, that was the first time we ever saw Joker. We didn't see it, from Jack Nicholson or Heath Ledger, or, even going back to the TV series, Cesar Romero. If we just got, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker out the gate, that would have been a hated film. No one respected that movie. They're like, oh my God, like, what is this? Like, this is, a terrible thing that we got. And that's kind of why you hear a lot of people talk about how those work. You know what I mean? Like that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker could work in this world. Obviously, they're not doing that. We already know where they're headed now. They're doing the Arkham thing, but because it's that same mentality, this dark, violent. They're
still going to do the Joker story, the sequel. Yeah, they're still doing.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. He's going to be part of the Arkham Rogues Gallery.
Let me.
No, I mean Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, the Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, which means we're going to have a different Batman. But we have to have a different Batman because there's a massive age difference.
It's okay. The multiverse is going to fix all that, guys. Yeah. The multiverse is going to fix all that.
Well, I don't know. That's an Easter egg you guys didn't catch because you don't watch Titans, but the kid at the beginning with the half face.
I heard about that. Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, that was a multiverse little nod because that's actually Tim Drake in Titans. So they use that actor just to throw that in there. That this is the multiverse.
Just a little Easter egg for
doesn't matter to me.
No, it doesn't. They're just throwing that out there for. They really didn't need to do it.
One day I'll watch it. Yeah.
Just to add on to what you're saying, though, that when the week the movie was premiering, and I was just like, I can't believe this is happening because there's no need to really truly compare them, right? everyone was taking a crap on all the Nolan films, even The Dark Knight.
All of a sudden, they're terrible.
Dark Knight Rises, the Batman Begins, everyone was just like,
that's just part of Hollywood, man.
and I'm
they
like,
do this all the time.
It's not Hollywood though. It's Twitter. It's just Twitter and social media.
Yeah,
they just
who
something new comes, and they have to compare it automatically. And it's just like, I personally like the Michael Keaton movies. I know Omega doesn't like them.
I do too.
I'll watch the Michael Keaton movies. I'll watch anything
anytime.
Batman. I'm gonna watch because that's my favorite superhero. Even the Val Kilmer movie.
No, I'm not watching. I'm not watching
George Clooney. Maybe not, but
I'm not watching George Clooney. I'm letting you know right now. But not doing it. Nope.
But you did at one point. You did.
I did.
So
I did.
And I went to the new Batman movies coming out. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I went to the movies to see that.
But like, there's like a need for them to like, oh, this one's coming out. It's good. That means Nolan's movies are terrible. It's a different take, man. Like, I mean, for me,
listen, I'm going back to the car.
Back to the car chase.
I'm going back to the car scene because you guys didn't let me finish. You here saying that I hated it, and I want to admit I did hated it. But I'm gonna tell you what made me love that scene. All right. Let me tell you what made me love that scene.
That's when you went to the bathroom?
That's a moment that I needed to leave the theater for a second. No, honestly, the best part about that scene was when that car crashed and he walked up to the car. The camera never switched position. Yeah. You know the feeling that I got on that was
upside down.
Mad Max.
Yes.
No, the car for
feeling,
sure.
It's the feeling that I got. Him walking towards the car, I felt Mad Max, and that made me love that whole scene. That whole scene completely. I was like, man, that's a Mad Max moment right now. Like,
I love that
the
scene.
way he's walking.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He was about to like burn you up. He was about to leave you there dying and burn you up and just let it be. Dude, that was really cool. Really cool scene, man.
Yeah. I like that scene so much that I wish they didn't put it in the trailer. That's how much I like it. For real.
Yeah,
that shot is.
I agree.
Listen, that shot was amazing.
I get it.
Yeah,
that shot was amazing. Yeah,
and but even one thing
for being so grounded, the penguin should have died. Right. Like the movie being so grounded, the penguin should have died in that.
No, and Batman should be wanted by the city, like to arrest him because hundreds of people died, like on the road during that car chase scene as well.
What you guys are talking about?
Everyone should have died.
Nobody died. There was no
respect.
No citizens hurt. No citizens hurt in this. In this shot.
In the filming of this action sequence. Yeah, because seriously, man, there was like no regard for innocent bystanders on a very busy expressway in the rain.
Hey, man, let's give it up to other people though, because we keep talking about, like the same actor. Obviously, this Robert Pattinson killed as Batman. We know, but man, like
I want to hear your piece. I want to hear your piece. No,
Colin. Listen,
there we
Colin
go. I want to hear your piece. No, Colin Farrell.
You know what? I was talking about this. I was talking about this. Listen, I was talking about this with MSK before you got on. I'm telling you, Colin Farrell killed it. He killed that character. He didn't make it gimmicky. You forgot
it was him
at all.
Yeah, you forgot it was him.
And you forget that he is that. Like, you don't see Colin Farrell come through at any point. In any sentence, in any word, he is not Colin Farrell. Which, dude, I don't know what happened. I think ever since True Detective, he has found his acting skills. Because I told you, after True Detective, I became, I liked him a little bit better.
You know what the problem is? Look, the problem is Hollywood tried to make Colin Farrell the main, like, Tom Cruise big shot guy when he first came out.
Yeah,
and he wasn't that.
With Tom Cruise and Minority Report.
Yeah, exactly. With Minority Report and Phone Booth and all those movies. And what was The Recruit with Al Pacino? They try to make him like the main guy, and he's not that guy, man. He's not. He's a role player actor, man.
Yeah, he's an excellent Robert De Niro, really Al Capone from Untouchables. That's
really good.
It's really, you could tell that's where he borrowed from. He definitely borrowed from De Niro.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Al Pacino was campy in that movie.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. He borrowed from that, but that worked better. Okay, example. He played what you talk about Al Pacino as well. Like Dick Tracy.
Tracy, sorry, yeah,
exactly. But you're right. No, but De Niro as Capone was over the top in Untouchables, which is supposed to be a more grounded film, considering it's based on a true story. But then you get Al Pacino was like, still not like in Dick Tracy, like it was still too much even for Dick Tracy.
Even for Dick Tracy,
Where this was like the right balance for the character, especially the origin. I mean, we don't have a full
And we don't have an origin. We don't have an origin.
We don't
have
need
no
it.
idea.
We got what we needed. We got
For the Penguin?
his origin to becoming the crime boss.
Yeah.
Of
No, but we're
this
getting the
current
series.
Gotham.
We're getting the
Yeah,
series.
exactly.
No, I know,
they're
but I'm
gonna give
saying
us
that we
all
don't
kinds of
have it.
origin
But my
stories.
point is that we don't have it. And,
Don't need it.
and I think, honestly,
didn't
he's
need
my
it. Movie, you
favorite
don't need it.
character.
Yeah.
He's my
Yeah.
favorite character in this movie. I'm telling you right now, like, say I mark it down, whatever day it is today, I'm telling you, that was my favorite character in this whole movie. I enjoy the crap out of him. Every time he was on the screen, I was like, dude, I had to tell my wife who he was because she was
That's
like, who
hilarious.
is that?
Did she say who is
She
that?
can't
She was
tell
like, who is that? And I'm like, that's Colin Farrell. She's like,
You
no
should
way.
have said something else. You should have said
Yeah,
something
I
else.
should have. I should
Should
have
have said it was
said
Jared Leto. You should have said it was Jared Leto.
that would
It's like,
not
wow,
be
Jared Leto
believable.
really got better at acting. That's
I don't understand all the hate. for
I'm
Leto.
telling you, man,
But-
he killed it, dude. He killed it.
Nah,
Listen.
I'll tell you, by far, I don't really know who my favorite character was. I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be Batman, but definitely the person I saw the movie with, their favorite character was
Zoe
Catwoman. Because
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz, like he would not stop. I mean, it was
I can
it
imagine.
got a little uncomfortable at times.
I can imagine. Don't put him out there like that.
I am putting him out there. He's gonna like, and he listens to this anyway.
There's a lot of things I don't agree with.
Like there was
with
so
him,
many
but
moments,
I agree with him
like
with that.
so many oh my gods, or like oh my
Yeah.
god, like so many like all right, man, I get it. I mean, yeah, she's she's quite attractive. Like wow, okay, like any little thing, like any costume change she had, that's it.
Man,
It's like any
that's
new
awesome.
wig, any new wig she put on, like I had to hear it.
It was a good take of Catwoman too.
It was
very
actually a
different,
good take.
very
It was
different,
a good
but
take.
yeah.
Same thing, unique because we've had other takes of it. I will say I really like Anne Hathaway's
I saw it the other day.
Catwoman version.
It was not bad. She's
I
not bad
think
at it.
Yeah.
I think
it's-
this might be my favorite take on Catwoman though. I will tell you that. I think this
Zoe
was my
Kravitz?
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I believe so because it's okay of who she's gonna become. Like in other words, if it's already an established Catwoman, Anne Hathaway got to already capture an established Catwoman. This is the building blocks of a Catwoman, which would make sense that they're gonna give her a series as well, supposedly.
But it has to do with genre too. Like so, Nolan's thing was more of a heist thing.
Yeah.
Catwoman was more of
heist,
she was stealing stuff.
Yeah.
This one was more like a cat. She was a cat burglar type. Like she would break into places, but to find out what was going on for.
We got the long
investigation.
Halloween. That's what I like. We got the long Halloween. version
and they
of Catwoman.
actually did the whole connection with
story arc,
Falcone.
Yep.
With in the long Halloween. So it depends. I mean, if I told you what my favorite Catwoman is, you would hate me. You're gonna
No,
hate
it's
me.
gonna
Say
be,
Michelle
you're gonna say
Pfeiffer
it's part. It's part.
100% Michelle
part
Pfeiffer.
two, Michelle Pfeiffer. Of
Michelle
course.
Pfeiffer is my favorite Catwoman.
Because a bunch
For-
of cats licked her in the garbage can.
For
that, she fell
that,
into
listen, for that
She
Batman,
survived that fall, bro.
listen, for that
She
Batman
survived that
and that fantasy Batman, she was excellent. She was amazing in that movie. She was
Did you
amazing.
see-
Did you see the video? Did you see the video?
She's Catwoman now.
Did you
Oh.
see the video of her actually using that whip? Like
Yeah.
she was actually using the
She
whip
was actually
to
using.
hitting things. Like she
Yeah.
actually learned.
She learned
And then
how
they
to
use-
applaud her. They
how
applaud
to
her.
use
Yeah.
the whip. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
I will have to send you that video. She's
Send that to
actually
me. I'm
being
not
the
seeing
one doing the whip. The whip.
Yeah.
Nice.
Listen,
But that was before CGI and yeah.
Yeah, no CGI.
Yeah.
She learned.
Now, so before
She learned how
CGI
to
was
do
well enough
Yeah.
to do it, she had to do it. I mean, they could have had a stunt double and given you the bad camera angle so you couldn't see her
But obviously,
face.
everybody knows
But-
Halle Berry was the best Catwoman.
Oh, I completely
completely
blocked
blocked that movie. I
blocked that out of my
That
mind.
is such
Listen,
a
the CGI
terrible
in that
film.
movie is so
That
bad
is
that you can see
such
the
a
green in the
film.
lighting
Hey,
of the green screen.
but let me ask
What a
you, what's worse?
terrible movie.
What's worse, her Catwoman or her Storm?
Her Catwoman.
Her Catwoman by far is
Yeah,
terrible.
by far?
a lot.
Yeah,
Storm
yeah,
is pretty
wow.
bad, guys.
Here's the thing.
Storm
Storm
is
is
bad.
pretty bad.
It's no. Well, it's bad if you're trying to compare it to what Storm is supposed to be from the comic book. But
From
her
anything.
version of Storm.
For Storm of anything.
Yeah, but she's not to blame for that. That's singers.
What do you
blame
mean
for
she's
that
not
version.
to blame for that? She never
She's
saw an
not.
episode?
She did.
No, they didn't ask her to play
No,
that.
but the
They didn't ask her to
directing-
play
the directing.
an African descent. You know what I mean? That's that. That was.
So she
It's
never
like-
saw Catwoman either.
It's like
Yeah,
even though you guys
obviously she
hate on
never
him,
saw
it's like
Catwoman
Leto's
either.
Joker. He didn't say I wanted to play gangster thug, Joker or Slipknot Joker. This was Snyder and the
I
director.
think that's who he is. I think that's who he is.
No, I think Jared Leto had a lot of input as the Joker.
I think that
I think Jared Leto
I think he
is
took it
that
over,
guy.
but they told him how to do it.
No,
They
I
had
think
a
that's
vision.
who he is in life. I think he is
I think-
that guy. That's what
Listen.
I think. That's what I think.
I cannot wait to find out after all the hate that I've been giving Jared Leto, after all these years, he pulls off the mask and it's Gary Oldman. It's an Oscar performance. It's an Oscar performance. I'm like, oh, he's so good that he got me to hate him as Jared Leto. That's how good Gary Oldman is. That's how good Gary Oldman. But going back to Catwoman, she was Zoe Kravitz killed it as Catwoman. To me,
well, you know what?
She's really good.
Segueing back to just you said Gary Oldman. I got to tell you right now, no, because this one I'm talking about because he was Commissioner Gordon.
Right. Jeffrey Wright, go say.
Yeah. But it is, if you were gonna cast a black version of Gary Oldman's Commissioner Gordon, it's him. And I mean, it's like it's so spot on. Like I'm like, this is like perfect. Like and as far as acting chops goes, he is close to Gary Oldman. He just doesn't get the roles to show so much range. Right. He gets kind of typecasted a little.
That's people's, bro.
Exactly, that's my point. He has range.
That's
he does,
bro.
Yeah, I mean, look at what is it? The series. The what's the series that we watched? Westworld. He kills it in Westworld, man.
He does.
He kills it.
But Westworld, this is kind of not too far from his character of Westworld as far as the tone and calm personality and demeanor that he has. But yeah, he is like, to me, he's like the perfect, adjacent, parallel version of the Commissioner Gordon we had, because
Jeffrey Wright.
I think actually Jeffrey
because he's
Wright,
not Commissioner Gordon. It's the same thing. It's it's back in year 2. He's not Commissioner yet. So by seeing Detective, it's like, this is the guy who's going to become that same version of the Commissioner Gordon. That's going through all this corruption and all this stuff, and we just don't know his family situation.
Just like Gary Oldman's. Yeah, you're right. But what it is with Jeffrey Wright is I feel like he played that role as a real life. He's the Danny Glover of that movie. He's just like, come on, man, we got to get out of here. Like he straight up said, come on, man, we got to get out of here. Like so tired. Like he's so tired of being a detective and all the BS that Gotham has given him that he's just like, we just got to get out of here.
Let me tell you, I felt for him because that's the kind of thing that could happen to me if I was a detective.
Is he 40?
Is he 40?
No, he's past 40. But
he's past 40 for sure.
I felt for him the moment that thing started automatically when they put the thumb drive and it started automatically sending the emails. Like that is the exact same type of panic I would have. I'd have no clue what's going on. And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so screwed. Like I'm so screwed right now.
He knew the moment that thing started activating, he was like, oh no, not my email. Don't use my email, please.
For me, he was like a real life detective, like straight up. He was just like, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm just tired.
He's seen a lot.
He's seen a lot, man. He wants to get out of there. He wants to get out of
Gotham. He doesn't want to do that job anymore.
That more you could have pulled that punch. He's like, I did.
I did, and it was a hard punch, man. The sound effect in that was I mean, the sound design in this movie was incredible. I'm not even gonna get to the score yet, but the sound design of the Batmobile
get into the score.
All right, let's get into the score.
Because it's incredible. It is incredible.
So we're going straight to the score right now.
Yeah, that's like, you know what? That's the best. That's the best character in this movie is the score. That's like I don't like how. Oh man, like we're early on, but this has to get like all the nominations.
It's not gonna get anything
for everything next year.
Listen. What I enjoy about the score, for me, every Batman.
We don't talk about Bruno's gonna get everything.
Can you believe that's not even up for an Oscar? By the way,
that's not the one that got nominated. That's not the one. Wasn't Bruno? Which is the one that got nominated?
That's not the one they pushed. They pushed the tip, which is the best song in the movie. By the way,
it is the best song in the movie.
No, they pushed the butterfly song, the slow one.
Stop it.
That's what I heard.
You're lying right now.
That's the one they were pushing.
Not even Bruno.
I'm not even.
I gotta Google this right now.
Because they didn't think Bruno was gonna be a smash hit. Listen, I'm not gonna talk about Bruno. I am not talking about Bruno.
We're not talking about Bruno.
We're not talking about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Listen, the score. Listen, every Batman has a score.
Yeah.
Every director that knows what he's doing with Batman has a score. Except for Zack Snyder, but I'm not gonna get into that because I don't really think about it. Ben Affleck's Batman theme, I don't know it.
No,
I don't know it.
I can't even think of it.
I don't know it. Michael Keaton. We know his score.
Yeah, I can think of Man of Steel's, which Nolan was, responsible for that
Nolan's Christian Bale score. Excellent. Yep. Hans Zimmer. We know that score.
That's right. Hans Zimmer.
This one has its own score. Like I think Robert Pattinson, and I'm gonna hear dun dun dun. I'm gonna hear those four notes, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
It is.
It's terrifying. Super terrifying, and that's pretty much the only thing you hear throughout the whole and Ave Maria. It's those two. Listen, it's those two songs, and it's different
And
renditions
Nirvana.
of those songs.
Yeah, and Nirvana.
And Nirvana.
Throughout the whole
Don't forget
song. It's
Nirvana.
amazing.
Nirvana
The whole
was
movie.
all over the whole thing.
Yeah, well, Nirvana was in the beginning and at the end, but I'm saying like throughout the whole movie, you hear those four notes in different versions of it, and it's perfect for the movie.
Yeah,
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, this film's actually getting a lot of praise from us, and it does help that we all had pretty low bars. And we specifically had low bars for Robert Pattinson, which helped. But at least I personally definitely learned the Ben Affleck lesson, which was, let me not hate right out the gate because I might be pleasantly surprised. And I was. And actually, I wasn't surprised because, in fairness, like I think there was a perfect meme that showed it. That's like everyone's with the Twilight. It's like, yeah, that's not the Robert Pattinson I've seen in decades. The Lighthouse, Tenet. Like I've seen a different Robert Pattinson that,
he's a good actor, man.
Yeah. And after, honestly, Tenet was the one that made me feel like, you know what? I'm going to sit back and wait because I kind of do buy this guy as, someone that could throw someone a beating because he did, very well as the character he played in Tenet. And I wanted more.
And his character in Tenet, I could buy as Bruce Wayne.
That's more Bruce Wayne. That was more of the Bruce Wayne I was expecting to get. I'm like, okay, there's selling me Bruce Wayne. Thank you, Nolan. Thank you, Nolan, for doing this, for doing Robert Pattinson justice and giving me his Bruce Wayne already. Yeah. And then no, that's not his Bruce Wayne.
You wrote that guy for this guy. You wrote this character for Matt Reeves.
I do not like his Bruce Wayne, guys. I can't. It's very. It was too emo for me because Batman's emo enough, and then you get that Bruce Wayne. I'm like, yeah.
You know what it is that he's not really that he's emo. He's numb.
And it's understandable for his
because like he doesn't cry. Like that was a whole thing. I had to hear that in the middle of the movie.
He does cry.
It was funny at the moment.
He does cry,
but he did cry though. At the end.
But listen.
But during the Alfred moment, and he wasn't crying. But what it is that he's a very, which is they explain well because in which they're going to play with that duality of Bruce Wayne that he might have inherited something from his mom who has mental who had mental issues. And he might be the same thing, have some type of mental illness or, and especially after traumatic experiences where emotional, he definitely has emotional issues.
I can see some suicidal thoughts going through his head. Yeah.
Well, the life of a vigilante is suicidal. Yeah, the life of a vigilante is suicidal at any moment. He's getting shot at, they get the whole night. Yeah. So you definitely see it. But he's a numb personality, and so he's emo in that sense. Not like, and yeah, I mean it's My Chemical Romance. It's we went through a whole list of My Chemical Batman, My Chemical Wayne because it's Bruce Wayne that's emo, not Batman. But
Kurt Cobain,
Bruce and Evans. What is it? Is it Evan Evans? Bruce and Evans.
Yeah. I mean, his Bruce Wayne wasn't my favorite, but I think that's going to change in the sequel. I really do.
He's going to grow. He's going to grow because
it's good.
Every other Batman we've gotten is either an established Batman or a quickly origin push to an established Batman. Because in fairness, the Christian Bale one, it jumps into an adult Bruce Wayne that then went through his training and like really dives into a heavy experience, by the end of the film, taking on Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow and all that. And like, you don't feel like that's a year one Batman. You feel like, okay, I got the first 8 years of Batman. I got like the first 6 years of training and about 4 years of Batman. And that's basically what you get, where this film, they sold it as what it was going to be, a year two, like literally year two. He's only been Batman for 2 years now. A big name to be made for yourself.
So wait, in Batman Begins, you feel like you got an 8-year Batman already?
Well, no, not 8 years as Batman.
Oh, for his training.
Yeah, an 8-year story.
Yeah, you see 8 years of training.
He trained for about almost a decade, actually.
He trained for a decade,
Yeah, he trained for a decade. But then his progression of Batman it takes the time and the span of less than a year, but it didn't feel like it. Like he did so many leaps and bounds.
Yeah, because we saw his progression going to Batman. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Okay. Exactly. And it almost feels like they kind of Game of Thrones you, or like what Vikings does, which is like they yada yada so much. Because think about it, you know how long it really takes to build that Batcave and to build, Like it takes a lot of time. Like, he just showed up to Gotham. Hey, guess what? I'm still alive. And literally 6 months later, he has all these things. Like, nah, man. Especially when you're hiding, making all that stuff too, and having to order different parts from.
But that's where the Bruce Wayne. That's what.
Exactly. It's going to take a long time to develop this. So they kind of yada yada and made you feel like, okay, this really feels like 3 years of Batman matched into one. The Michael Keaton, the Tim Burton ones. Michael Keaton, you jump straight into, he's like a year 8 Batman.
Yeah, we don't see.
We get the origin story and flashbacks, but there is no. He's it's not year 1, year 2 Batman. This is a true. He's been Batman for a while now. Definitely Ben Affleck is a much older Batman, like already, kind of might hang up the cowl Batman, older Batman. So we didn't get this one. It's 100% true. Like, yes, this is an inexperienced, Batman. That's what it is. He's been doing this for a year. He's good at the fighting. He's good at detective, but he's getting, just like any detective, he's learning more and more as he goes. So there's going to be moments, he got played like a game of chess by the Riddler. I mean, let's, in fairness, we got to be honest.
Won. The Riddler
by
won.
far. And
like,
this is
he
the
destroyed
thing.
the city.
A lot of people came with, a lot of people come with the Indiana Jones thing, which is where they Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is like if you take Indiana Jones out of that movie, everything ends up the same. Yeah. That's like the big thing. Like, what? Like it is. It's the ruiner for Lost Ark. Because like literally, Indiana Jones did nothing. Like it all would have turned out. They would have opened up that ark and all died. Like it would just like, you know what I mean? Like really, he did nothing. But here, that's not the case. And people try to make the arguments like, no, the Riddler used them as a tool. If there was no Batman, Riddler would not have been able to do all this. He needed someone with the ability of Batman
and that's
uncover his stuff.
Bring him out.
And that's what's great about the Riddler, because he saw it as like a team effort.
Exactly.
Right. He saw Batman as a partner, and when he says that, like he's like, we really almost got him, didn't we? And Batman's like, hold on. First of all, you don't think I'm Bruce Wayne? Awesome. Second of all, you think I'm your partner? What?
That was awesome. That was the biggest sigh of relief.
Yeah,
like his butthole unpuckered so quick after that moment, because
that scene was great. But I'm watching that scene as him, and I'm like,
you know what? I've come to a conclusion that every Batman has diapers on, just in case.
Yeah, they have to. They
have to. There's no way.
Just in case someone finds out they're Batman.
There's no way.
They're Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
but
Yopi, me and Yopi were talking about this earlier, where at that point, if you think the Riddler knows that he's Bruce Wayne, he's going to have to kill him, right? Like, what do you do there?
How do you get out of that? How do you get out of that once he knows that it's you? Like, you have to kill him, right? There's no other way around it.
Yeah.
Or just,
you have to, right? You have to blow up the whole
and deal with it.
You have to blow up the whole Arkham.
Yeah, like whoop.
Yeah, whoop.
All of Arkham, like, well, there goes everybody in this wing.
Well, this whole place. I was never here.
This section of the building.
Walk out. You go back into your shadow after you blow it up. Like I was never here.
Security guard was 3 days from retirement, and Batman had to take out.
How do you
section?
Played by Danny Glover.
How do you stop that?
Exactly. Too old for this. But yeah, no, it was so well done, and that whole concept was of the way he played him, and then not knowing his inexperience, he just expected him to uncover the things that he gave him. Now, in fairness, he got a lot more help than the Riddler was probably. He probably expected Batman to just figure these things out. Alfred helped, Catwoman helped, obviously Commissioner Gordon helped. So there was a lot of moments where he wasn't doing it on his own. But again, that's part of the movie. They're building all these other characters, and their part in assisting, Batman in this situation, as well as, again, inexperienced Batman. They are selling that he's not an incompetent Batman. He's just an inexperienced one. He's still, early on in this. He's, got down packed, scaring people in the city and all that. But now it's being a true detective, and which. Yeah. I don't want them to jump into a Ra's al Ghul or anything like that. So I think it'll play better with Court of Owls. But Ra's al Ghul's always, at least us who watch the animated series, that always called him detective. You know what I mean? They're not a lot of the other villains would call him detective. Ra's al Ghul actually respected that part about him, the most, his intelligence and his ability to be a good detective. And you see,
his part of Batman's life is pure ninja stuff. Like it's,
Oh yeah,
But I don't think they're going to do a Ra's al Ghul.
No, Court of Owls was going to play best of that. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think they will jump into Court of Owls in the next film. I think there'll be a 2-year jump. And he needs to get more experience. So when they go Court of Owls, we have a much more seasoned, intelligent, strong detective Batman that starts to uncover something that's been hidden for, hundreds of years, basically.
We were talking about this, and I want to see other villains, man. And I feel bad saying this because, most of the people that are gonna go see these movies, they're trying to write for everybody, right? But I'm tired of the same things. And again, they showed the Joker at the end, which I don't mind it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I could do without Joker.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that scene.
I could do without Joker, and I just need.
They didn't need it. I agree. They didn't need it. But
I need other other villains to come into this.
I want a
so
Mr.
many
Freeze
villains.
so bad.
Yeah.
I want
a-
Freeze.
yeah.
I want something
Mr.
else, man.
Freeze.
I want
the Heart of
something
Ice,
else.
Mr. Freeze.
Yes,
is what I want.
exactly. A Heart of Ice, Mr.
Even-
Freeze, and they can
even-
do it grounded. They actually
Yeah.
can, and it'll be
Even
different.
Even a Two-Face, like a complete
Two-Face.
Well, we're definitely getting that.
Two-Face. Speaking of Two-Face, you think since he's keeping it so grounded, you think we're gonna get the Blue-Face Two-Face,
The blue face.
or we're gonna get
We might get the
Like a
Blue-Face
grayish-
because it's not as
Yeah.
grounded as everyone says.
Yeah.
I'm
No, it's
telling
not.
you.
That's my point.
It's not.
It's
In
grounded
pacing and tone, yes,
Exactly.
but not character.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
why
you know?
I think like the Easter egg of Venom, I don't think they'll go Bane. I don't think that's what the point of that was. I think the point of that is that if Venom can exist, why not the freezing?
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, okay, if you go on YouTube, there's a guy who actually broke all this down about Mr. Freeze and how it would work in a more grounded thing. There are freeze guns. There are actual things that can freeze.
Yes,
Now
it's the
you're
60s.
Yeah, well, you're upping it a notch as far as human flesh. You know what I mean? That you got to up it a little bit more as to what's available for someone to make on their own. Towards human flesh. But there's a lot of ways where you can. MSK. Oh, no, neither one of you watched Better Call Saul yet. You both have just done Breaking Bad. Neither of them Better Call Saul. Okay, well, it's interesting because this guy on YouTube broke it down, but this is a good concept. I don't even got to explain it, but people who've seen Better Call Saul understand what I'm talking about. Like there's a character that believes he's allergic to any type of electricity or magnetics, but it's a mental problem he has. He has a mental illness that makes him, or emotional illness that makes him think that it's a trauma thing. It's not true. It's not a real condition that a human is allergic to electrical current or magnetic current, but he believes that. So if you have a Mr. Freeze who believes he needs to be in extremely cold temperature, so obviously he won't have it below zero, but he could have some type of coolant suit that like the astronauts wear, that NASCAR drivers wear, something to the extent to buy into his own psychotic break from what happens to Nora, his wife. You can have this obviously this Batman universe is playing with mental and emotional illness because that's the Riddler, that's obviously the Joker. They dive straight into Arkham, his mom character, so Batman himself might have some issues. So that totally plays into this universe to an extent, have a Mr. Freeze without going full on, cryo suit, can freeze an entire building with a gun, Mr. Freeze, but obviously still be less grounded than people, are expecting because it's not a completely realistic Batman. It's not. It still has a lot of elements of the comic books.
They don't even have to do all that. His name is Victor Freeze, right?
Yeah.
Like they could go as grounded as just that.
Well, they
Mr.
didn't do. If you notice, they didn't do Edward Nigma. You know what I mean? They had it on, between the two driver's licenses, whatever. But they didn't go Edward Nigma because you're like, of course, this guy's gonna end up becoming a guy named his parents ruined him. They named him Ed Nigma. They named him
Which is
Enigma.
why I hate that scene at the end because they just completely like, let's make this campy. Let's do the riddle me this. The Joker actually says riddle me this.
The one who says it to him, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, man, I don't need that. I didn't need that at all. You put me in this like world of like criminal like Seven type movie.
Even if they don't go deep, like let's say campy. Obviously, we don't want campy, and the whole Mr. Freeze is gonna be a hard thing to write. But there's many characters, man, on that animated series that we can we can go psychological crazy with it, where it can be a challenge for Batman and it can still keep the whole detective thing going for him.
Of course, all of them.
For other movies.
I mean, I was telling Yopis, and this is a campy character, but the Clock King is like excellent for this world, man. Yeah. Think of a serial killer that has to do everything precisely on time or like in a certain
Zaz.
And Batman has to figure that out, that would have been a great villain.
You have Zaz, Mad Hatter, what's the puppet? The Scarface, whatever the puppet.
The puppet.
I mean, you can't.
The puppet is Scar, but the ventriloquist is the
ventriloquist. Yeah, that's same thing. I mean, if you're going into the especially since they're doing the Arkham Rogues guys, we're talking about the criminally insane. He's got a nice list of them.
I honestly think they're gonna go all out on the characters, and if they're gonna do that, just do the characters how they're gonna be.
Yeah,
I want Clayface. I haven't seen Clayface. His backstory is amazing. Yeah, and why not do Clayface? That would be awesome. That would be an awesome change.
Like if I don't know if they're gonna do a trilogy or how long this goes on for, but I think the best way to end, and we'll see what happens from here to there. But I think the best way to end the Robert Pattinson era of Batman when they get there, I think that should be. But we already know they're going to do Two-Face in the next one. But I would, well, even though they only did that in the and that was in the terrible Batman and Robin movie of Schumacher. But so it doesn't affect Two-Face. I'm confusing the storylines. But I would end Robert Pattinson, so you kind of get a full circle of who he is, especially with the relationship he has with this Alfred. I would end it on the case where Dick Grayson's parents get killed, and you end with him adopting a child, Dick Grayson. So in other words, we don't get a Robin, just kind of like what Nolan did. We never really got a Robin, but the same thing. You kind of end on like, okay, now he's becoming that Batman. He's so Batman now. Now we're working towards Bruce Wayne, because that's a good arc and that's a good show of the progress of Bruce Wayne. It's like he's enough of the two people that he's able to be a hero who takes on a sidekick and a father who takes on a son. And that would truly show the full growth of this Bruce Wayne to, basically, adulthood and responsible citizen outside of being Batman, that he's able to take on and adopt the son. Because obviously the initial concept of getting Dick Grayson wasn't to make him Robin. It was, to make him a vigilante too. It was like, no, this kid, I see that. And I think they already kind of laid the foundation for that and the elements, the way he kept looking at the kid that he felt for the mayor. That died. And
I really hate when they do
planted in there.
Yeah, I really hate when whenever there's this little kid and Bruce Wayne sees him, they're like, is that they did it in Batman Begins? Is that going to be Robin? I mean, come on, man. It's not.
No, everybody's Robin.
No.
Every little kid
he looks at.
Every little kid's Robin.
Like,
I think
in fairness, that's a big Titans thing. That's a very different Batman, because it's the guy from Game of Thrones. But it's actually a very flawed, a different version of Batman. But that is a Bruce Wayne that he is about that. He's a recruiter. He actually is intentionally.
I don't know. And
that's in the storyline. Nightwing him bump heads a lot.
Is Robin an 11-year-old kid in Titans?
No. None of them.
He's older. Okay, so
all of them.
What I'm about to say,
even Dick Grayson was in his teens, like late, like 15.
Yeah, it has to be late teens, because they can't do it exactly like the comic book. There's no way they're gonna put an 11-year-old.
Well, actually, in Titans, he's already Detective Dick Grayson. He's already Nightwing. Well, he's technically Robin, but he walked away, so he becomes Nightwing in Titans. But he's already an adult, like screw Batman, and then you find out what selling me.
You're not selling me. Well,
that's not the point. I'm saying that.
Well, but just
that's just a different relationship. I'm saying of where he is a recruiter, where people think that, and that's what you're saying. Like you always think, oh, that's a kid that's gonna be Robin. Like no, he did not adopt Dick Grayson with that mentality. Now, Tim Drake, Jason Todd is a different scenario, because he already went through that with Dick Grayson, and until he much later on, where Dick Grayson is a much adult Nightwing after Teen Titans and all that in the comics and stuff like that, he didn't see a problem with it. He's like, wow, you know what? This worked for Dick. This might work for Jason.
For the other kids.
This might work for Tim. Like other words, so then he did go that route with them, but that was not his intention with Dick Grayson. With the first kid, he tried to be a father, and then he didn't know what else to do. And that's why he said it works in this universe to end on that note, because did Alfred do? What did Alfred do to father him? Trained him to fight.
Which I'm going to get to that in a minute. But what you're saying with there's no way you could have an 11-year-old Robin.
Exactly.
It has to be an older teen. That's why he adopted 40-year-old Chris O'Donnell in these movies, right?
That's why he should have adopted JGL, right?
JGL. That's why JGL was already in his 30s when he became Robin. There's no way you could do a kid Robin. So it has to end like that, right? Yeah. I love that Alfred's the guy that teaches him. Because we're gonna get that back.
Well, taught him his base. Yeah, taught him his base.
Yeah, but he taught him how to fight.
Yeah, his base how to fight. That's what I'm saying. When you get the book and you read your thing, he does train other ways as well.
Right,
but
of course.
Until he's about Batman. 15, 16, all his fight. But you need a strong base. In order to become that good of a fighter, you need to have a very strong base.
Yeah,
and that's what Alfred gave him. Because that's how he parented him. And he says it. He goes, I didn't know how to be a father. I knew how to teach you to fight. Because that's just what worked for me. And he did it for two reasons. Again, not to make him a vigilante. He did it because it's a way to teach discipline. It was a way for them to bond. And then most importantly, he hoped that it would take away the fear of the trauma he endured.
Of something like that happening again.
Killed. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very smart.
And that's something they always do, right? Like in every Batman, the Alfred that goes with that Batman fits perfectly well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With every Batman you've ever gotten. So, Alfred, Andy Serkis is amazing as Alfred. I didn't know he was that big. I didn't know he was that.
Yeah, man. Come on, Claw and Black Panther.
I didn't know he was that big.
dude.
No, but he looks bigger in this.
You think
He looks
that
bigger in
dude?
this.
You think that dude can crawl around the whole place
know.
like Caesar or
King
Gollum.
Kong.
or
King
Gollum
Kong.
without being like in
King
shape?
Kong too. He's King
Yeah.
Kong also.
That's right, he's King
And how
Kong.
has he not gotten an Oscar for any? Whatever, man. I'm not
Because
gonna
I
get
think
into
they're
the
now
gonna
making that
get
a
into
category.
this.
I think they're supposedly next year they're going to make that a category, which is BS because like now
Now
Why
other
is
people
that,
are gonna
why
say
is
not
that gotta
doing
be
that.
a category?
I know.
Why is that gotta be a category? That
I agree. It shouldn't be.
It should have been
He's
best
acting.
actor.
performance.
He's
Best
been
actor.
acting regardless. Like whatever, what is digital or not, he's still acting. That shouldn't be
Yeah.
a category.
He should have got it for Gollum. He should have got it
He
for Gollum.
should have
Straight up.
years ago.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, it's a good Alfred. So I think
No, films are
I
hitting.
want to see. I definitely want to see more of his character though. A lot more.
Yeah, we need more. We need more Alfred. I think that's
And
another
we need,
thing that
and
we
we
didn't get
need more
enough.
respect from Bruce Wayne towards Alfred.
Yes.
Dude,
He
Speaking
had
of
that, he had
that
that teenage
hospital,
dirtbag moment. You're not my dad.
yeah, that hospital scene when he went to go see him, visit him. That he ended up what was
Finding
it?
out
He
the
ended
truth.
up
He has the
doing
letter.
when he ended up who did he go visit in the hospital that he did like a heist thing? He just dressed up as Batman or not dressed up as Batman, but he went down
He went to the club.
To the club.
What's the club?
yeah, with the hood, where he just put the hoodie over and then
Yes.
snuck in and then
Yeah.
went and turned off the lights and
But
everything. Yeah.
I was thinking Nolan. I was thinking Tenet when he did that whole
Yeah.
drop down with
yeah.
the zip line.
Zip line. Yeah.
Zip line, yeah.
I was like, oh, we got a
There you
little
go.
Nolan.
Oh, you know,
moment
there's
here.
one actor we have not really touched on, and
And we're not going to either. We're not.
No,
going
we have to. Why not?
No, I know. Go ahead, bro. That guy's.
We
wrong.
have to. We have to.
Say
John
it.
Turturro. John
John
Turturro.
Turturro is wrong,
Dude,
bro.
oh,
He's
man.
awesome,
What
bro.
a great
That's Falcone.
Falcone. What a great.
excellent.
That's usually a throwaway character, Falcone, in almost everything. Especially
Yeah,
with
but
Eric
not for
Roberts
this
doing
story
it.
because of Catwoman.
Of course.
That
It
Yeah, the
works.
Catwoman thing. And
Yeah.
Turturro, man, dude, I haven't seen that since like Rounders because he usually does a lot of comedy,
Right.
especially like
Right.
the Bowski, whatever. But like in what is it, Rounders or Rounders, right? With Matt Damon, where he's the friend that's kind of connected to the mob or whatever. Like
Yep.
he has and especially a younger Turturro, the much older stuff. Before he started doing a lot of comedy, he was like perfect Falcone, man. I mean, just perfect. And just the attitude, the temperament, and the way the story uncovers. Because
cool,
at
man.
first
he was sly.
The way he lies, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it
the
was
way
sly, like-
he deviated everything and made it about other people. Like, oh man, that
Yeah.
was.
But he
That was
has,
well
and he
written.
has that because that's what works. Where you feel like, okay, you can kind of believe, not kind of believe, but you understand what happened. Which is like he kind of sells that, which he has that charisma where like he's like he's a likable guy. So like if you didn't know he was this murderous or whatever, like in a conversation, like he has like this likable, almost trustworthy persona about him, which would lead to a gullible Thomas Wayne thinking
Very
he
gullible.
could ask this guy to do him a favor without it going too far. And obviously it went too far, but it was a calculated go too far. He did it so he could force Thomas Wayne into his pocket. And then the problem is, and that's where they kind of give us that, well, didn't he? Which is like, well, he kind of died within the same couple days after he told him, nah, I'm coming clean and saying everything that happened as to whether Falcone was responsible or not.
Yeah,
Maybe he was
definitely
planning to
killed
do something. And
No, he definitely killed him.
well, I think it's going to be left that way if we don't know. And that's the whole point of it. It's left to. Well, no, I'm saying I agree. I obviously.
I don't
lines
think
up
it's
too
as
well,
ambiguous
but now
as you think it is, though.
we'll never know for sure because he's dead now, and it's not going to be easy to uncover if he hired the person that did it or whatever. It's what it's supposed to be. I don't know. You know, what I mean, Batman doesn't really know who killed. He might know who's responsible now in some way, but not who actually pulled the trigger and killed his parents.
Oh no, like actually pull it. No, but like he knows it's Falcone. Like I don't think there's ambiguity.
Well, just say and they did it with the Nolan verse. It was Ra's al Ghul that apparently made it happen. We find that out at the end of Batman Begins, but he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger. They push.
Well, yeah, he's the one that pushed
orchestrated it to happen. Yeah, he orchestrated it to happen. Yeah. But he wasn't directly responsible. And that's why I don't even mind like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker at the end when the guy's like Joker didn't do it, but he's in a way responsible because he created this atmosphere of all these rich people hating Joker mask wearing nut jobs and followers that end up killing the Waynes in that alley in that version. What I don't like is when they directly connect it, like they did with Tim Burton's Jack Nicholson. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna make that Joker himself kill him. Like
Joker,
why?
yeah,
They don't need to do that.
Yeah,
the whole point of Batman is that
again, that's that movie was a test pretty much of comic book movies. I mean, it was like the second comic book movie, so you got to give it some slack,
Speaking of giving us some slack, let me tell everybody where they can follow us, man.
Damn, if you're slacking and you want to follow us,
if you're slacking and you don't want to,
definitely not on Slacker Radio.
We're not on Slacker Radio. Why are we not on Slacker Radio?
Is that even around anymore?
I don't know. That's what it is. Okay, so you can listen to our past and present episodes by going to linktree/fancorrect. That's linktr.ee/fancorrect. And there you will have the opportunity to listen to us on our other podcast outlets, which is Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify.
Podbean.
And don't forget to rate us. Don't forget to follow us.
Share.
You can also share. Share.
Do you believe in that?
There you go. You can follow on our social media websites using the @handle at FanCorrect for Twitter, Instagram, or just search for Fanatically Correct on Facebook and YouTube. Which are we ever gonna do YouTube? No. All right. Cool.
We'll talk about that after.
All right. Cool.
We'll talk about that after, maybe.
While you're there on YouTube, at least hit the subscription button. Maybe one day you'll see.
You watch those 3 videos.
Those 3 buttons.
Hey, by the way, do the episodes go to YouTube anymore directly?
I think they were going to, but I don't think
I've seen them
anymore.
So anyways,
you can follow.
Moving on.
You can always contact us by giving us an email at contactfancor@gmail.com. That's contactfancor@gmail.com. Or leave us a voicemail using the 786-704-8404 number. But don't forget to ask your subscriber. This is a warning. Ask your little phone line if you're allowed to call us, because if you're calling us from another country, we ain't paying for your bills, man. We ain't got that type of money. I don't know if you've seen it, but we're not vengeance. We're definitely not vengeance. So that's it.
Hey, vengeance! You don't know the difference between la and el? No speak Espanol? Best
bro, that's
you know what? I really hate that they kept calling him vengeance. They did it too much.
It got a little played out.
Come on. Come on, guys.
We're talking about with Two-Face, and just moving to that quick, the Easter egg at the post-credit whatnot thing was just proof. I don't know if either of you guys have jumped on it yet, but you are, www. La Rada
Ensalada Ratatala.
Yeah, exactly.
Ensalada Ratatala.
It's an actual website that they set up, and it gives you like almost like a cryptic. It gives you dates, and then as you go through the dates, it in chronological order, I believe, to the film. It gives you like the first issue of Gotham, the first issue of Riddler, first issue of Arkham, that Arkham Asylum first showed up in a Batman comic. So it gives you all these things, and then the last one is the first appearance of Two-Face
with Blueface.
Maybe Blueface, but so that is the strong hint. It actually makes sense because remember they just killed the DA in this film. So I feel like if we are going to get a villain origin story, it'll just be one. All the other rogues gallery are going to be hashed out in the HBO Max series. But we'll probably get a Harvey Dent storyline ish. I mean, I think Nolan did it well. They're just going to do it different. Yeah, I think they're going to do it different. Is what we're going to get here. And they're playing with a lot of elements from Long Halloween and Hush, and that might be something that leads into Court of Owls. We'll see what Reeves has planned for it.
That's what I want. That's what I want. If he ends up giving me that towards the third movie, and we just end up on that, hey. He did his job. You know what I mean?
I feel like that story fits better in this.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
I think we will leave satisfied, and we will say, you know what, you did exactly what you needed to do. I think most fans will feel that way. If he doesn't, then he's gonna be
We'll see. At least
Yeah,
this
missed
film,
I think it'll be fine,
opportunity.
man.
yeah,
He's
at
gonna.
least
He's
this
gonna
film
be.
opportunity
standalone
there.
was done well. That's the
Yeah,
good thing.
yeah,
At least
he's-
this one standalone was very well done. Very
Yeah.
entertaining film. Does it
Have you
certain
guys seen
things, flaws? I mean,
what he looks like? How Matt Reeves looks like? Have you seen a picture of him or a video of him?
I've seen what Matt Reeves looks like. Yeah,
Yeah, I believe I haven't. Hold on, because I'm confused.
Look
I've
at
been
a
seeing
picture
lot-
of him.
Yeah, I've been looking
And-
at a lot of directors lately. 'Cause
Yeah,
I was
look at his
watching,
look at his face. And I'm gonna tell you something. Every director matches with the Batman that they make.
Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
I'm just confused.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
no, I know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's Commissioner
yeah.
Gordon.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
He is. He's a young Commissioner Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I was confusing with. I just watched like some interviews with the Atom Project on Netflix, that Ryan Reynolds ones. And I was watching a roundtable thing with them, so I was like, for some reason, that's the director whose face I have in my head right now.
Yeah,
So,
no, every director
Yeah,
goes.
this
I
goes-
mean, Tim Burton is the fantasy. He looks like someone that
Yeah,
would make a fantasy.
He
movie.
does.
And
He
Nolan
does, yeah.
looks like a heist guy, and most of
Yeah.
his movies are heist. Like,
I mean, his brother is a heist killer.
and that explains why he
Okay.
makes. I'm not gonna talk about his brother because
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm
in
looking.
world
Okay, the
of
pictures, the
internet.
pictures on IMDb of Matt Reeves are him without that thick Commissioner Gordon mustache. But then I'm seeing the interviews that he's doing for the Batman. So it's like
It's all
he
Commissioner
grew
Gordon.
He grew that mustache
Yeah,
to film
On
it.
purpose.
He just wanted
For
to
sure.
feel part of the
For
movie.
sure.
That's funny. That's
For sure.
funny. He grew that just for.
So
for
we're
the
really gonna ignore that.
I'm gonna
Nolan
ignore it.
has a.
Nah, I'm gonna listen. The
killer
way the
brother.
algorithm works, like I was talking to my friend today about music samples, and then I got commercials of music sample sites. We talk about Nolan's brother. It's gonna hit. It's gonna get him in Australia or something. He's like, oh, this guy's talking about no.
We don't have. No one listens to Australia. In Australia, no one listens to us in Australia.
We got one guy in Canada, and that's close enough.
That's close enough to Australia.
That's close enough.
Wow.
All right, so there.
Not even
so, I don't know.
geographically is that accurate.
So no,
Close enough.
it's close
It's
enough.
close
It's
enough.
close enough.
I mean, I guess they both kind of descend from from the British.
It's in the
Empire.
works.
British. I think everybody descended from the British at some point.
One completely disconnected from the Queen, the other one still has her on their money, but okay.
One still, yeah. One is still there. One is still there.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
All right,
Right.
so Nerdcessity, or are we gonna do a
the
ranking? Are we gonna do a ranking? Have we done rankings yet?
I'll do a ranking.
Oh,
Wait, are
Batman
we doing a
rankings?
whole ranking? No, we can't do that right now. Are you
Why not?
crazy?
We can do that.
I
We
guess
can do
MSK
that.
already did his.
For
He put
all
it
the
on
Batmans, just because you have your list,
I already have my list.
you bastard.
I'll do.
I
I'll
have
do
a
top three. I'll do top three. We could do that. MSK has his whole list, but we
Let's
can
do
easily-
top four. Let's do top
This
four.
guy.
Well, I mean, at this point, let's do top 10. Let's do top 10.
Let's do top 10.
Yeah.
Let's do top 10. Nah, we can just jump on whatever you guys want to do. Nerdcessity.
Obviously, we all have
I
Dark
can do-
Knight.
I can do
we all
top
have Dark
threes.
Knight as the
I
first
can do
one.
top threes.
Is it anybody not have Dark Knight as their first?
Dark Knight is the first.
Yeah, as number one.
No, Dark Knight is my first. That's
Yeah, that's my
definitely
first too, and
I think
I'm
that's
pretty sure
everyone's
it's.
first.
I'm not looking at his list now. Actually, let me pull up his
Yeah.
list.
Yeah,
because I gotta. We gotta add.
But I'm
ours.
telling you,
We gotta
Batman
add
Begins
ours
is a
on.
very
But this
close
one
second
is-
to me.
This one is close though. This one is very close.
Yeah,
What's it on Letterboxd?
it's my fourth.
After
Letterboxd.
Batman Begins.
Honestly, it's still my fourth. It's still my
No, it's not my fourth. It's my third. I'll be honest. For me, yeah.
It's still my fourth.
For me, it overtook Dark. And I watched Dark Knight Rises a lot in the theater.
No, I know. I was with you.
I
But
know.
yeah.
I saw my third time with you, which is the second time for you. And then I think
Yeah.
you saw it again a third.
I saw it again in the IMAX. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
I
saw.
think
I think it's
eventually
like my
it will
Rises.
take the third spot, but for me, the Dark Knight Rises still, it's the most comic booky of the Nolan verse, and it still fits Nolan's thing that it's like how you always say you get the first two and it matches perfectly to the third one, that you kind of have to add it on there, But I mean, the first two for sure is the Dark Knight. Batman Begins is still my favorite origin one, and the Batman's the fourth, and number four, a solid number four, because there's like 10 Batman movies. So
Yeah. That's why I said let's do top 10.
You have nine.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9. What's the 10th?
well, I just rounded off. I didn't put Justice League. That's what it
Oh,
was.
okay. Well, because that's not a standalone. That's not a Batman movie.
Right.
That's,
Right.
I didn't put Justice League. I don't
But
even
it's
think I put
there.
Batman versus
It's a Batman movie. It
Did I put
technically
Batman
is a
versus
Batman
Superman?
movie.
Because the Batfleck is in
Batman versus
Batman v
Sup-
Superman, Justice League, and Suicide Squad.
Batman v Superman technically is a Batman
It
movie.
is a Batman movie. Did I put that
It
on
is. His name is
It's-
first.
there? It's probably
No.
at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have it there, so you probably would have put it as 10th, is what I would see it as.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go where I differentiate from MSK pretty much. The only differentiate is I put this from fourth to
list? I
third.
don't even know where his list at. Where
Oh, Letterbox. Which yes, check us out. That's another thing you can check out. Fanatically Correct. We have a Letterboxd account. I don't know if that thing's taken off or not, but we have lists there.
Letterboxd has been around for like 7 years.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, we're finally using it.
So it's finally taking off now that we're using it.
Yeah, so it's going to take off now.
Yeah, so far the only Batman list is MSK's, and he has a list there, MSK. So, me, MSK's list, and the only thing I swap is third and fourth. This for me is my third favorite. Dark Knight's my first favorite. Batman Begins my second. Then I go into this one, and then I go Batman Dark Knight Rises. And then, of course, let me see your Tim Burton ones.
Dude, I don't even know.
You know what? I actually agree. I actually like Batman Returns better than Batman.
It's better.
It is.
I like the Batman. I not the Batman. I like Batman. Jack Nicholson.
Christopher Walken.
But
everything.
There's a lot of character in and Batman Returns has so many characters that it's. Plus, I was like 6 when it came out, so like it was for my demographic for sure.
I'm gonna tell you now. For me,
okay. So what are you saying? What? Wait, okay. Let me look at the
70s Batman. The 70s Batman might be ahead of Batman Forever for me, also.
Batman and Robin. It is terrible.
No, Batman and Robin's the last. That is. We all
Batman
have
and
last.
Robin.
It's last.
We all have the same
last
first, and we all have the same last for sure.
It is the worst movie. Listen. So why did that even? Who made? What's going on here? Who made this movie?
So bad.
Is that guy still making movies?
You know what's really bad about it is that George Clooney could have been the perfect Bruce Wayne. He could have.
I still don't agree with that.
He could have. No, not in that movie. Not the way they made it.
No, even in general, I don't buy Clooney as a Bruce Wayne.
I don't.
I do. I mean, he's basically Bruce Wayne in real life.
Well,
that's different.
Maybe. Nah, I don't. I wasn't a Clooney fan. I am a Val Kilmer fan, but same thing, not as Batman. Even though he would have, out of all of those, I think he's the better.
I might switch, and I love the Dark Knight Rises. I love the Dark Knight Rises. Not as much as other people, but I think I might switch those two in this list.
Yeah, for me, you know what it is.
You like Batman Begins? Is this your favorite one? Oh no, Dark Knight Rises.
No,
so you're like me.
No, Dark Knight Rises. Rises. I think I would switch the Batman with Dark Knight Rises. So
you're like
for me.
So you agree with me. So MSK is all in on Nolan. He's not having it. Nice try, Matt Reeves. Not happening.
It's not. It was close, but the thing with Nolan is that his films are worldly, right? Like it's not just Gotham. That you see Batman go somewhere and train, and
especially
you see different sides.
The Pit. The Pit is what does it for you. You
do no, but not even that. Even in Batman Begins, when he travels the world and gets trained,
you know what it is,
and the Dark Knight, you also get.
It's the dishwasher.
Yeah, no, and the Dark Knight Rises. There's so much comic book things. I mean, it's ridiculous that
it's way too much.
The whole police squad will go underground.
That's ridiculous.
Something that you would read in the comics.
Exactly, I agree.
100%.
Right. But come on, the whole police.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
It's a lovely voice.
But I loved it, and it matches that world, and it's perfect.
I get it.
It was great, and the whole build up.
And what he ended up doing after with the idea that he had. I mean, you got to give the man credit. He literally had to rewrite a whole movie.
Yes,
because he had something else to be.
He had the whole Hannibal Lecter.
For Heath.
Yeah,
for Heath. So he never was able. So he had to do that from scratch, pretty much.
And remember, he didn't want to make this movie. He was pressured by the studio to make this movie, and the deal was, all right, I make this movie, and I get to make Inception. I get to make all these other movies I want to make.
Yeah, in other words,
and it works.
He didn't Wachowski about it with I'm gonna give a big screw you in this movie and go all meta and make sure that I
but he gave us a good movie.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but he gave us a good movie. Yeah.
You know what is he has too much director
in his work
etiquette and etiquette and part of his work. He's not gonna have something with his name on it that's that's bad. At least as a director. I mean,
so that is the necessity. Watch Dark Knight Rises, especially you got that's for you.
There you go. Go to our Letterboxd, and that's the
go to our Letterboxd.
I think everybody has seen Dark Knight Rises. I think the necessity should be what you mentioned before, though, was the
book. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'll give the exact info of what that is. This way people know where to find it. Amazon Prime for sure has it. It is called the exact.
I mean, $10 is a little steep for people.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
how they'll
actually
feel about this.
$8.89. Well, $8.89 for a hardcover, and it comes with a pull-out poster. It's before the Batman, an original movie novel. The Batman movie includes 8-page full-color insert and poster. They have it less expensive for Kindle audiobook, Amazon audiobook, and then of course you can order the hardcover that comes with.
So it's called Before the Batman,
an
original movie novel. Okay,
and that's
hardcover.
It's available. And I saw a breakdown of it on YouTube. I ordered it. Well, someone ordered it for me as a birthday gift. So once I get it, I'm gonna give it a full read because I did like the movie, and I kind of do want to read all the details about it because I'm all in for this new universe, especially with all these series they have planned out for HBO Max and all that. I can't get me enough Batman, man. I'm all in. I love it. I'm a big Batman fan. And outside of that, that's it. I mean, that's a good way to wrap. And we'll see. Next we got Morbius.
What? Stop it. Do not talk about that. We're not giving you a review on that. I'm letting you know right now.
Multiverse of Madness.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch it until
we're not giving a review on that. So if you're expecting a review on Morbius, good luck.
I told Yopis the other day, I'm more excited for Sonic 2 than Morbius. I'm not joking.
Actually, I'm looking forward to that too.
I am looking forward to Sonic. I'm not like Sonic 2 looks like it's gonna be like
it looks good,
the real
man.
Deal.
They keep doing good things.
Idris Elba as the voice. Come on, man.
That's Knuckles.
That's awesome. Knuckles, dude.
That is awesome.
You saw what they did, right? People started saying that the Emerald looks too small, so they made it bigger.
Listen to their fans, bro.
Dude, Sonic,
they made it bigger.
Listen to their fans, man.
That's crazy.
But they listen correctly,
not like Star Wars
fans. Wikipedia of movies. You can just go in and change it.
Bro, they listen to their fans. What?
It's awesome.
What?
It's awesome.
Are you kidding me?
I think the next big one, explosive, film at least is going to be Multiverse of Madness. That's gonna take.
Sure.
Movies. Yeah.
And outside of that, just last shout out, you can get your tickets already to the Sunrise City Comic-Con for Saturday, August 13th this year. We already, I don't got any specific announcement yet, but some good stuff in the tank of some good celebrity guests and panels and stuff like that we'll have going on this year. And that's about it. And also, please listen to our most recent episode before this one, which is we had David Allen of the Guardian Outpost. So we did sports movies and our catch-up 2022. We talked about a bunch of stuff, including Spider-Man No Way Home.
That was a fun episode, man. That was a real fun episode. That was fun.
We'll probably do it again soon. I know he had a good time too. So yeah, it was definitely. We
got to do video game movies with him. Video game movies,
and there's still a lot more sports movies that we didn't even touch. We kind of touched mostly 2 or 3 genres and one more or less era of those genres. We could definitely the more recent sports movies or get into like fighting sports movies or there's. That's the way to go out. The MSK can edit it in. The score.
I hate you so much.
You know you love this. Yo.
The price was yours,
bro. Come on, why are you so mad?
I'm mad because that song is in my head and I do not like Nirvana.
Now it's earworm. It's an earworm.
I don't like Nirvana. I never
Good night,
did.
Guys. Good night, Nirvana. Good night.
This has been Fanatically Correct. Omega saying peace.
MSK, peace out.
Yo, peace. Eat us.
Have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.
Vengeance.
Hey, vengeance.
Awesome. Yeah, that was what. Hey, vengeance. Stop it. Stop.
Hey, look where it is. It's vengeance, guys.
Get over here. And then at the end.
Bro, when that cop touched him and he was like, "You gonna let him in here?" He should have broken his hand right there. That's what I would have done.
Oh, I love that.
If I was vet.
Do you know who I am?
Vengeance.
do you know who I am? Like, I could take a guess.
You're the guy from last night, right?
And then who I am? Like, well, I do now because you use the exact same line with the pointy ear
Every single
costume you
time.
wore last night, you prick.
No, I'm vengeance.